AI will increasingly replace repetitive jobs, not just for blue collar work, but a lot of white collar work.
What sort of jobs would be lost to AI?
Basically, chauffeurs, truck drivers, anyone who does driving for a living, their jobs will be disrupted more in the 15 to 20-year time frame. And many jobs that seem a little bit complex, chef, waiter, a lot of things will become automated. We'll have automated stores.
You got to think about who's this going to affect. This going to affect the majority of Americans, right? This is going to take away a lot of jobs from people because, to be honest with you, there's no jobs out there. So a lot of people just getting started, the younger people getting started into the workforce, a lot of them don't have a whole lot of skills, so they getting these repetitive jobs, which is not a bad for a starter job. The problem is it's not going to be no starter jobs. And then on the other side of that, these young men and women are not being educated to fill in the new jobs that's going to be in the future, like more of tech repair, assembly. I'm not even going to say assembly because even if you think about assembly, a lot of that assembly line work when it comes to AI, just like the cars, is built by machinery. So what's going to be left for the people? Nothing. When you really think about it, AI doesn't have the human element. What do I mean by the human element? It don't call out late. It doesn't get pregnant. It doesn't drink the night before. It don't need vacation. It don't need PTO. It don't need sick time. So all you're gonna have is the guys who maintain the AI. So that's gonna be the new job market. But coming into it, as we transition into this AI taking over these repetitive jobs. I mean, and not just repetitive jobs. Like if you even look in the military, is a AI element of the military where they got robot dogs and all that stuff. Uh, and they trying to build super soldiers as well. You think about aviation with drones. You're going to phase a lot of pilots out because one of the big risk factors is losing life. So that right now they got escort drones and stuff like that. That's sixth generation actually that act as wingmen without fifth generator fighters. Excuse me, generation fighters. So like you gotta watch what's happening because slowly but surely humans are getting phased out of a lot of stuff. And companies are raking in high profits, even though to the 2 years though Bernie Sanders even suggested that we go to a 4 day week, that people work 32 hours a week and still get paid for the 40 because you're having a big falls inflation and companies profit where people are borderline poverty, middle class getting wiped away, companies making all this money and it's not trickling down. And you couple that with inflation, you just widening the gap. And now you're going to have this. It's going to be the job killer. You know how many people got their CDLs and stuff like that? It's not to say that it's going to take all the jobs away, but it's going to be enough people going to be affected. So that's a person who's not putting their kid in college, which is a debt anyway, but still, as somebody not getting educated, as somebody not buying a house, it's a trickle down effect, right? So we really gotta think about, we gotta play this like fucking chess, not checkers. You gotta think about what you need to start investing your money into these chip companies because all this AI gonna be ran on chips. Um, you're going to just the companies, starter companies, anybody, all the parts, the arms, the legs, the gears, the wires, the copper, all the stuff that's going to go into this AI. Your best bet is to jump in it now while you still stand a chance to get the stocks while they fairly affordable. Because the more we start to phase in the AI, the higher the stock's going to be. You know, so you really need to think about that. And also, when it comes to just preparing for jobs, you got to really think about like what I mean, far as in going to school, you know, like doctor, lawyer, blah, all that stuff. No, you need to think about the average person with the average person that's going to lose his job, what he need to train for. And I would say maintenance, stuff like that. So it's just we are. I mean, I get the human element of it. That's troubling to employees, and not even just like warehouse work, but just regular construction. Just like you sign a contract, you try to get a job done with men, and you got to factor in the fact that you not can't even rely on the guys and girls. So look at them; they just watching these bots trained to take over their job. And that's what it's going to be like. It's going to have one human there, just like how Walmart is with self checkout. Just if the light go off, they come and scan it and reset it, whatever, and let you finish doing what you're doing. And that's going to be the wave of the future. So it's going to eliminate a lot of people. Think about when you go into Walmart, all the empty aisles where cashiers should be, and it's all self checkout and one person watching in case there's a hiccup or something. That's what's going to happen with a lot of the jobs. And, you got, like I said, the human element of it is the lazy factor, just the non-reliable factor. Because one big thing you had in today's society, if you was reliable, like if you would show up, that was just a lot. You know what I mean? Now it's not even about you showing up. The robots are not going to be. They're going to be there already. So they don't get tired. Look, that word. Look how he's outworking that man. Yeah, it's the future. This is the future. I mean, it's now. It's now. This is now. Yeah. You gotta think about everything else when it comes to AI as well. Like even with Chat GBT, and like think about how much information that AI is learning about us by the things we search and by the things that we ask it, by the algorithms, how it puts all this information together to form some type of bionic opinion about human beings. And I think that's one of the biggest fears if AI start thinking about what's best for everything. Based on what they know about us, and what they know about us is going to be based on all the things we ask it, all the things that it sees. Think about everything, the cameras. Just think about how our lives has changed in the last 25, 30 years. Remember, everybody didn't even used to have a cell phone. Now, your cell phone is your life. You could be having a conversation about guns, and the next thing you know, you open up Facebook and you got gun ads. When you downloading all these apps and you just click and accept, you welcome them AI into your home and they sell your information. So like you really gotta think about it. I think the key thing is I don't think you should be afraid, or we should be afraid, but if you got young kids coming up, young teenagers, you need to really like point them in the right direction, because a lot of the jobs is not going to be there. They're not. But you gotta think about these robots at this time, they really can't build themselves. They're gonna need somebody to run diagnostics and do maintenance, build the technology itself, come up with the ideas. So I wouldn't be afraid of it. I would embrace it. But unfortunately, when you look at, where the kids at today for as education, especially in a lot of excuse me, impoverished communities where, you got young men reading at a fourth, fifth grade level, and they just pushing these kids through. So like they're gonna be affected the most. So you really need to think about it, gear up, put your thinking caps on. That's what they used to say, and get with it, man, or get ran over, because it's here. And just don't look at the storm coming and the sky getting dark, and be surprised when it start raining. So that's my thoughts on AI.